let's go and build just a basic, very simple process right from scratch. So I'll come down to trying to get my mouse to pay attention to me. There we go. So there's my FlexSim. I just fire it up and I'm going to start a brand new model. Right at the beginning, I'm going to confirm that I want to work with the units as shown. Length will stay in meters, but I've got a variety of things I could change. Time, so on and so on. I'll accept this. And there is my empty playing field. I'm in a 3D model here. On the left-hand side, here's my library of existing pieces that I can start with. Well, I could start with a source. And a source is basically a way of bringing things into your model, into your simulation. It's a starting point. It's a piece of magic where now, boom, a box is going to appear. In fact, it's going to appear and then get put immediately into a waiting area, a queue. Now, what I'm going to do is take a little bit of a finer look at that source. Right now, the source is going to bring in things with a random distribution that follows an exponential style of statistical distribution. Looks kind of like this, and on average, boxes can appear every 10 seconds. Okay, technically 9.98, but it's close enough for me. Fair number may come in quicker than that, and a lesser number are going to be trailing off. We're not going to have nearly as many showing up every 40 seconds as we do every 5 seconds. On average, though, every 10 seconds, something's going to appear. To connect that to the queue, I go and I drag a connector between these. Boom. Now the source is going to create an object. It's going to create a box. It's going to send it to that queue on an average of every 10 seconds. Okay. From the queue, and have it go to a processor, generic piece of equipment. I'll connect those two. And now boxes can be created, put immediately into the queue, and then as soon as the processor is ready, that box is going to get shoved over there, and then move on. And I need some place for them to go when it's all finished, so I'll create a sink over here. This is where the objects exit the simulation. And I need to connect that in. There we go, the bare bone basic model. And I'll go ahead and run it. By default, it starts off running about 4 times real speed, but I can crank that up quite a bit. There we go. So running a little more than 8 times real speed. And you can see that even though they're being created on average every 10 seconds, I get a backlog sitting in the queue because there are some that are being made less than 10 seconds apart. And sometimes that backlog clears a bit because the next one's being made more than 10 seconds apart. And now just add a little more variety to it. I'll bring in a person to move those around. And I'll say that, all right, you're going to connect there. So the queue is aware of that person. I'll tell the queue to actually use that person. And now I'll reset and run it again. I reset because I made a change. And now you can see now the person is starting to move it. The problem is that person's taking some time, and now we're seeing more and more of a backlog. This might be something that, gee, I'm going to want to use the experimenter on. Not this exact one, but use the experimenter on to try and figure out what we should be doing to clear that backlog. So that's the basics of a 3D model. You've got a library. You can add to that library, customize pieces that are in there. I'm using all the default settings, that 10-second processing time, that on average 10-second creation time, and letting it work.